Welcome, Tailgate Legends, to week 6. Week 6, pretty sure. Let me check. Yeah, week 6. So I haven't done a video since week 1 or 2, so it has been a while. I apologize for that. But I'm going to try to do a better job. See, the problem is my kids are just always fucking annoying me. You know what I mean? So it's like, I want to do it Wednesday, and then I'm like, just doing shit. Then I want to do it Thursday, and then I'm just doing shit. Then I want to do it Friday, and then I'm just doing shit. You know what I mean? So I'm going to try to do a better job. Maybe not every week, but I'm going to do a better job doing them more often, okay? So for today, I am not going to... my wife is literally showing me her boobs right now. 100%. Today, anyway, so I'm not going to go through last week's matchups. I am, however, going to go through standings. Then I am going to go through my top trade targets right now. So the reason I'm doing that is because I was going through, and this is like normal every few weeks for me, just going through the teams and just seeing who could I trade for. You know what I mean? And I know, not a surprise to anybody, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely something you have to look at every few weeks. Like, is there an owner that I think is more willing to give up a player, or is there an owner that I think is more willing to accept picks or other players or something like that? Like, who is a good trade target as a team, and then who is a good trade target as a player? So I was going through my list of top trade targets, and then it kind of dawned on me, like, I'm not going to trade for anybody right now because my roster is full. I have people coming back from IR, and I'm just not really in the market to make trades right now. So I'm like, well, fuck it. I'll get my list, my personal list out there for the league, and just to kind of give you a glimpse into the players that I'm looking into as like, okay, could I make this work? Could I not make it work? Whatever. And then, as usual, going to go through my predictions for next week. So let's get her started. Standings in the bags division, we have Burns at 4-1. Burns' team is so good right now. And then Shear at 3-2. Lemish at 3-2. So Shear, I'm pretty sure I had Evan's team as like the third worst team, something like that. He's putting up points. Well, actually, he's 5th in the division in points scored, but he's 3-2. You know, that's all that matters. And then Boggs, dude, I had him as a number 1 team. He's 2-3. Jamar's attacks, Whitey, he's 2-3. And then Sam & Co. is 1-4. I think I had Sam & Co. rated pretty low at the beginning of the year, so that's not super surprising. But Shear's team, little surprising. Boggs' team, a little surprising, especially since, like, Boggs, you only got 608 points, but when I was doing the rankings, he had Christian McCaffrey, and that is a huge difference. Such a big difference. We're talking about, like, probably 100 points. So that's that division. Our division, the Flip Cup division, I don't even know what it is. I am sitting atop at 5-0. Lemke is at Live Laugh Olave at 4-1. And then, dude, Prusky's got a squad. Let's go. 4-1. Prusky is 4-1. Not only that, but he is 3rd in our division in points scored, and he's 3rd in our division. So, like, it makes sense. It works out. It checks out. Prusky's got a squad. Yeah, like, team's a hell of a lot better than I ever thought it could be, and I feel like that's how it was with like Lemish's team last year. Like, I remember Lemish was rolling out like Raheem Mostert and just guys that I personally didn't think were gonna do that great, and then, dude, like, Team's just good, you know what I mean? Um, contrary to some people's beliefs, I don't know everything. So Prusky, like 4-1, that's fucking awesome, man. And then Pump and Munch, Yacht is 1-4. Cheeseheads with Attitude, Landon 1-4, and then Ricky 2000 0-5. That is a huge surprise. And only 508 points. So I don't know what happened. I don't know what's going on with his team. I haven't really like looked at it. Like Saquon is blowing up. I don't know. I don't know the receivers he has, but I feel like he had really good receivers. Yeah, it's just not working right now. So, yeah, that's the standings right now, and we're 5 weeks in. Like, yeah, we're like, almost, or we're over a third of the way through. So, I mean, yeah, we're getting there. Okay, so let me bring up my list, and I got to bring up the rosters here, and I'm going to go through my top trade targets. And again, this is an honest to God list that I made for me. So 100% a list I made for me. This was not meant to be like shared, you know what I mean? But I was kind of going through it, and I'm like, you know what? I don't have enough cap space to really trade for expensive guys. And the guys that I would trade for just aren't where I would like them to be to fit in my team. So I'm not really in the market to make trades right now. So I just made the decision, you know, I'll fucking make a video and put it on here and, you know, see what you guys think. Just kind of giving you a glance into my head. So there's no real like list. It's not like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 players on here. 8 players that I wrote down that I said to myself, okay, can I make something like this work? These are just, yeah, players that I feel would, that I feel the owner of that player would be most likely to give up. So I guess, I don't know. It's just top trade targets. So the first person on my list is Bucky Irving. That's probably not going to be super surprising to anybody. Bucky Irving is on Landon's team. Landon's team is not great. And I know it's like you're kind of cherry picking, you know what I mean? But Bucky Irving has been really good for the record. He's been very good. He's splitting time with Rachaad White still. And that's the biggest issue with Bucky Irving. And that's why I think you can get him for a second rounder. I mean, Landon drafted him in the 3rd round. So do I think that Landon is going to be happy 5 weeks into the season getting a second rounder? Yes, I do think he's very happy getting a second round pick. Do I think that Bucky Irving by the end of the year is going to be worth more than a second rounder, or his production is going to be worth more than a second rounder? By the end of this year, maybe. Maybe not, though. But in the offseason, probably. That's what I think. I think that Bucky Irving, he's an ascending player who is still splitting time. He's on a roster who I think Landon is 1-4. So yeah, I mean, Landon's 1-4. Do I think he would go for a second rounder for Bucky Irving? Yeah, I mean, like around there. Like, would I throw it out there to see what, you know, to see if he would accept it? Yes, I would do that. Now, I'm not going to do that because Bucky Irving does not fit into my team. I have so many fucking running backs right now, and I'm not really looking to give up a piece. I'm not really looking to give up a pick for a player that I hope will turn out. You know what I mean? I am in win now mode, so I want a player that can help me win now. And Bucky Irving cannot help me win now. He's not helping Landon win now, but I do think he's a really good trade target for almost anybody else. I would say there's maybe only 3 or 4 teams in the league that, you know, the Bucky Irving trade wouldn't make sense. Like me, Lemke, Burns, probably. Like, that trade doesn't make a lot of sense. But almost every other team, it's like, yeah, take a shot on him, and maybe by the end of the year, he's helping you win. I don't know. So Bucky Irving is my first player. My second player is Jalen Waddle. The problem with Jalen Waddle is he is on Roofer's team. Roofer is generally a tough person to trade with. Not that he's like obnoxious or anything. It's the way that Roofer runs his team. He doesn't make a lot of trades, and that's like totally fair. However, Jalen Waddle right now, his contract is up in 26, so you're going to get the rest of this year and next year. Tua is out. We don't even know if he's coming back. Jalen Waddle is only $29. So it's like he's only $29, but he is $29, and I do feel like Roofer at 0-5 is probably on the verge of rebuild. Like, he feels like he's on the verge of rebuild, but Jalen Waddle isn't a rebuilding piece. And Jalen Waddle, even when Tua is healthy, Jalen Waddle isn't like the greatest player ever. He's worth $29 though, but he's not helping Roofer win. So that's why I have Jalen Waddle on this list. Now, obviously, I'm not going to try to trade for him because Tua is his quarterback. I have Tyreek Hill, and Jalen Waddle does not help me win right now. So I'm not trying to trade for Jalen Waddle, but Jalen Waddle, I think, is a really good trade target, especially for a mid-tier team, where if Tua does come back, say in a couple weeks, maybe Jalen Waddle is relevant and is helping somebody get to that next level and make the playoffs, and help him in the playoffs. So that's why I got Jalen Waddle there. So that's that. My next trade target, and this is a guy that I seriously I took a very long look at this guy. Still kind of am, but it just doesn't work. The next guy I have on here is Davante Adams. So the reason I'm looking at him is very obvious. It's Davante fucking Adams. He is amazing. He's really fucking good. The other piece is he's going to get traded, right? There is almost no worse situation in the NFL than the Raiders offense. Gardner Minshew, Aiden O'Connell, whoever it is, doesn't matter. Wherever Davante Adams goes is going to be an upgrade from where he's at. It just is inevitable. It's going to happen. Davante Adams, is the second he gets traded, is going to be a better fantasy football player then than he is now. That is so indisputable. So just kind of lay that out there. The problem with Davante Adams is he's $76. $76 is a lot of money. When I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't know if I can put $76 on my team. Like, I'm already strapped for cash. If I were to trade for Davante Adams, I would have to throw Tyreek Hill on there, and it's like, dude, I'm not throwing fucking Tyreek Hill on there if Tua comes back, or I should say when Tua comes back, like, Tyreek Hill is back to just must start, you know what I mean? So I'm not going to sacrifice the next few weeks or I'm not going to sacrifice my future for the next few weeks. So that's why it just doesn't work for me. But Davante Adams is a rental. He's $76. So I think, and this is just my perception, I think people look at $76 and say that's too much money, I can't do it. I look at $76 and say that's a lot of money, but when does that money come off the books? Like, when is he off my team? He's a rental, okay? That means that first of all, Yach's team sucks. You can get Davante Adams for almost anything. Second round pick, maybe a third round pick. I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to throw this video out there. Yach is going to see it. I don't know. I mean, you can put Davante Adams on your roster for cheap. Like, he's worth no more than a second rounder. Probably a late second rounder, because you're only getting him for half a season. You know what I mean? But to me, that's a good thing. That's a good thing, because I know I don't have to worry about that money being on my roster next year. You know what I mean? So, that's why Davante Adams on here. Davante Adams is like, yeah, real weird situation. I'm actually very surprised that Yach did not cut him before the beginning of the year. Very surprised. But he's out there, like, dude, for a team like, say, Lemish or Evan, you know what I mean? I don't know, man. That something like that just really makes sense to me, where you figure out a way to put him on your team. Don't worry about where he goes. Wherever he goes, he's going to be better. And you know what? If it works out, it works out. You know, he goes to a good team. He goes to the Chiefs or the Jets, and Rodgers just is throwing, fucking dropping dimes to him all day. Like, yeah, that's great. And you know what? Maybe he goes to the Steelers and he has Fields or Russell Wilson throwing to him. He's still going to be better than the Raiders. And he's still going to be off your books at the end of the year. Like, sometimes you just got to shoot your shot. You know what I mean? I do it all the time, and sometimes it burns me. Sometimes it doesn't. I try to make calculated decisions, and sometimes it works out. Sometimes it doesn't. But Davante Adams should not be on Yach's team, because Yach has no chance of winning. So I got Davante Adams on there. The next player I got on there, Vikings defense. I know, it's crazy. So I have three good defenses. I have the Packers defense, the Ravens defense, the Saints defense. I'm very happy with all of them. I'm picking my best matchup. Hasn't bit me in the ass yet. So I have the Vikings defense on here. They're only $5 and they're a defense, but they're a really good fucking defense. A really good defense. You want to know a fun fact? The Vikings defense is the second leading scorer on Prusky's team. Now, putting this out there, Prusky's going to watch this video, and now he's probably not going to trade him. But it's not really about that. It's just really about the principle. I just want you guys to kind of get a glimpse into what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the Vikings defense, and I'm saying to myself, yeah, like, should I give up a second rounder? Probably not, but I want to win, and they're a really good fucking defense, and they're going to give me 10 to 20 points every single week. And you know what? 10 to 20 points is a lot of points. Like, you got some superstars giving you 5 points on a bad week, or, 10 points on a bad week. Like, Vikings defense ain't doing that. Vikings defense have been so good. So good. They're only $5. Like, throw something out there. You know what I mean? If you're gonna give up a lot for a defense, just make it the Vikings defense. So I do have them on there. So okay, that's half the list. 4 more. Next, I have Dontavian Wicks. Dontavian Wicks is on here. Wicks is weird. He's weird because he's good, but he's not so good that you have to start him. He is good, but he just can't catch the ball. Pretty much everybody in this league are huge Packer fans. We all see Wicks. I think everybody here knows that, dude, if you want to buy a Packer player, you do have to spend up a little bit. So I do think Wicks is going to cost you a little bit more, in this league than, a league that's out in fucking Missouri or some shit. But, like, any other league, Wicks, you can get Wicks for a third rounder. Probably easy third rounder. I still think you can get him for a second rounder. Like, he has not been that good this year, but I do think the potential is still there. But again, for me, it's like, I can't trade for Wicks now because A, my receivers are good, and B, like, Wicks doesn't help me win now. Wicks, Lemke didn't start Wicks last week, and that says a lot because Lemke is smart. So not starting Wicks was smart on Lemke's part. I thought he was going to start him, and I was kind of hoping that he would start him. But Lemke just knows, like, Wicks just hasn't really proven himself yet. But I do think the potential is far outweighs the cost. You know what I mean? Maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't. But again, it's just one of those things where, like, dude, sometimes you just got to shoot your shot. So Wicks is on here, and I'm going to kind of hurry it up here. Next player I got on here is George Kittle. So George Kittle, been a beast. Evan is 3-2. He's riding high. Evan has Trey McBride and Michael Mayer and George Kittle. George Kittle is $52, which the way he's playing, $52 is nothing. Mark Andrews is $55 and has you like 4 catches on the fucking year. Tight ends are tough. It is so hard to get your hands on a really good tight end, and George Kittle is a really good tight end. $52. Shear has 2 fucking Evan has 2 starting tight ends on his team, and he's not starting both of them. So yeah, go out and get a fucking tight end where the owner doesn't need him. Yes, go get George Kittle. All right, next person on my list is Saquon Barkley. A lot of the same stuff. Roofers 0-5. Probably in rebuild mode. And I'm not saying you're like completely in rebuild mode, but you're definitely like, this season is fucked. You know what I mean? Like, making the playoffs is going to be hard at this point. Saquon Barkley is a can't cut person. So you cannot cut him the rest of this year or next year. Okay. However, Saquon is the RB1 on the year. Like, the RB1. He's so fucking good. And Saquon, again, is another guy that I look at and I'm like, fuck, how do I get him on my team? It just doesn't work with my team. He's $86. He's so expensive. I'm sitting out here. I got Jordan Mason, Bijan Robinson, Jonathan Taylor. Fucking Pacheco is on my IR, but, I'm supplementing with more receivers, and it's like, I don't have cap space, and I don't have room. Like, once Pacheco comes back, like, JT was out last week. Hopefully he plays this week. Saquon comes back, and then it's like, dude, then what? I'm benching Bijan and Isaiah Pacheco because I'm not benching Jordan Mason right now unless McCaffrey comes back, and that's still up in the air. So, like, way too many variables for me to put an $86 can't cut player on my team. But if I'm somebody like Lemish or Evan or Prusky or like one of those mid-tier teams that it's like, right now, yeah, you feel like you probably don't have a chance to win the championship, make a fucking trade for a top-tier player to put yourself in position to win a fucking championship, That's 100% what I would be doing if I was like one of those mid-tier teams, like teeter-tottering. I mean, maybe you're good, maybe you're not. I don't know. Well, I'm going to make a fucking trade to make myself good. That's what you got to do. So I do have Saquon on there. And the last player I have on here is, I added him last minute because he is my player, Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is a legitimate trade for candidate, even though I'm 5-0. Tyreek Hill does not have Tua. Tyreek Hill, I can't even start him right now. I benched him for Brian Thomas Jr. last week, and that won me my week. That one move won me my week, and it was so hard to bench fucking Tyreek Hill, but I did it. And if I'm another team, again, a mid-tier team, I'm looking at that move and I'm saying, okay, there's not a lot of trust in Tyreek Hill right now, and I'm going to try to trade for him. So that's what I got for that. Next, I'm going to go through... next week's projections. Sorry, I am not prepared for this. All right, next week. Here we go. Ooh, baby, let's go. Cheers. All right. First matchup we have is Country Roads Take Mahomes, Boggs against Jamar's Attacks. And I'm pretty sure they're both 2-3 right now. So this is like, this has got to feel like a make or break for both of these teams. Well, Whitey for sure. Boggs at least gets to lean on the fact that McCaffrey is hopefully / probably coming back. Excuse me. So right now, I'm just kind of looking at what they have in their starting lineup. We have Trevor Lawrence against Caleb Williams. Fuck, I'm taking Caleb Williams there. Oh, Ford against Cook. I'm taking Cook. Derrick Henry against Breece Hall. Derrick Henry by a mile. Breece Hall has been trash. Alvin Kamara against Jamar Chase. I'm taking Chase. Marvin Harrison Jr. against Zay Flowers. I guess I'm taking Marvin Harrison Jr., but I don't know, man. That fucking Marvin Harrison Jr. thing is weird. DJ Moore against Debo. Probably taking Debo. I don't know. DJ Moore had such a good week last week. Dalton Kincaid against Zach Ertz. I'm taking Kincaid. Dude, I think I'm taking Whitey here. Fuck. But you know what? The Jets just fired Robert Saleh. Yeah. So I feel like the Jets are going to have a really good week this week. So I think Breece Hall is going to have a really good game. This is such a fucking toss-up. I'm going to go Boggs here. I'm going to go Boggs. I genuinely think Boggs is going to win this. Yeah. Okay. Boggs there. All right. Next up, we have Shear against Burns. Mike Hawk Burns. We got Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott. Definitely taking Jalen Hurts. Etienne against James Conner. Definitely taking James Conner. Alexander Madison against Kenneth Walker. Definitely taking Kenneth Walker. A.J. Brown against Josh Downs. Definitely taking A.J. Brown. Jaden Reed against Drake London. Definitely taking Jaden Reed because Drake London plays against the Bears, and their pass D is really good. Rashid Shaheed against Xavier Worthy. That's a toss-up. Could go either way. Like, it could be 20-0 either way. You know what I mean? Shaheed scores 20. Worthy scores nothing. Worthy scores 20. Shaheed scores nothing. Like, that's the way that matchup can fucking go. And then Kittle against Ferguson. That's a toss-up, too. I'm going to go Burns, though. Burns' team is really good. Kenneth Walker has been so good. That's the thing. Like, Kenneth Walker might outscore Madison by fucking 20, 25. That's a big deal. All right, next we have Sam & Co. against Lemmy Winks. We got Lamar Jackson against Brock Purdy. Dude, Lamar Jackson's going to win that matchup, but Brock Purdy's so consistent, though. Chuba Hubbard against Najee Harris. Fucking Hubbard by a mile. Javante against Roshan Johnson. Mike Evans against Tank Dell. I'm taking Mike Evans. Myers against Jackson Smith and Jigma. I'll take JSN, I guess. Amon-Ra against Garrett Wilson. Yeah, I'll take Garrett Wilson. I think the Jets are going to fly high this week. And then Hooper against Andrews. I don't fucking care about that. Yeah, I'm going to take Lemish. Sam and Co., your team is not that good. Like, you have, like, even your players just aren't that good. Like, you have Lamar Jackson. Najee Harris is not good. Roshan Johnson is not good. Tank Dell is not good. JSN is not that good, other than the one game in his fucking career. And Amon-Ra is not even, like, putting up big numbers at all either. And Mark Andrews, so bad. I'm taking Lemish there. All right, next we have me, Tainted Love, against Pump and Munch. We got Jordan Love against Bo Nix. I still might start Jaden Daniels. I don't know. Either way, taking Love. Jordan Mason, Tony Pollard. I'm taking Mason. Bijan against Jerry Jeudy. I guess I'm taking Bijan. I have Nico Collins in my lineup. He just went to the IR, so I will probably put in... It's hard to say. I have Jonathan Taylor if he plays. If he doesn't play, Trey Sermon. Tyreek Hill is on my bench. Darnell Mooney is on my bench. I have options. I'm not super worried about it. Terry McLaurin against Devontae Smith. That's a toss-up. Brian Thomas Jr. against Evan Ingram. If Evan Ingram plays, I'm taking BTJ. Let's go. And then Pat Freiermuth against Brock Bowers. Taking Bowers. I'm going to take me here, but you never know. Shit the bed Fred against Ricky 2000. Joe Burrow against Baker Mayfield. Bro, both of these guys are playing so good right now. Like, oh, man, both of them are so good right now. I got to take Burrow, but, man, Baker Mayfield is so good right now. David Montgomery against Saquon. I got to take Saquon. Keon Coleman against J.K. Dobbins. Oof, that's a toss-up. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Against the Broncos, I feel like the Broncos defense is really good, though. The Chargers, I mean. I don't know. That's a toss-up. Okay. Cortland Sutton against Amari Cooper. I'm going to take Cooper. Jalen Tolbert against T. Higgins. That is also a toss-up, surprisingly. Jalen Tolbert's been playing pretty good. I'm going to take T. Higgins there. Also, that's a pretty big advantage that Roofer has T. Higgins and Prusky has Joe Burrow. I really, like, it just sucks. Even last week, my matchup against Lemke, I started Jordan Love because I wasn't sure what Jaden Daniels is going to do against a really good defense in the Browns. So I started Jordan Love knowing that Lemke was starting Tucker Kraft and might start Dontavian Wicks. And I'm like that is a strategic move that you have to make. Like, you have to think about that stuff. Jordan Love throwing 2 fucking touchdowns to Tucker Kraft is such a huge advantage to Lemke. Such a huge advantage. Before that game, I was blowing his ass out, and, you know, Love to Kraft 2 times for 85 fucking yards or whatever it was. Like, huge advantage. So, I don't know. But then we have Jamison Williams against Malik Neighbors, and I'm going to take Neighbors there. However, Jamison Williams has a higher ceiling because of his quarterback. So, if Jamison Williams outscores Malik Neighbors, not going to shock anybody. And then Cole Kmet against Sam Laporta. Like, I don't know. Tight ends have been ass this year. Every fucking one of them has been ass. So, a toss-up, I guess. I don't know. I feel like it's gonna come down to those quarterbacks. If Burrow puts up another 40 piece, like, I don't know. I'm gonna take Prusky here. I'm gonna take Prusky. I love Burrow. I love, David Montgomery is so underrated. And like, I look at Roofer's team and it's like Amari Cooper could be so good. By name, it's like, yeah, Amari Cooper is great, but Deshaun Watson throwing the ball, fuck that. Okay, and then last matchup, Landon, Cheeseheads with Attitude against Live Laugh Olave. Josh Allen, Justin Fields, taking Lemke. Josh Jacobs against Rico Dowdle, taking Lemke. Brian Robinson, Bucky Irving, taking Lemke. Diggs against Swifts. I guess that's a toss-up. Probably still taking Diggs because Nico Collins is out. CeeDee Lamb against Chris Godwin. I'm taking Lamb. Olave against Metcalf. Taking Metcalf there. Olave is not good. Tucker Kraft against Brenton Strange. Taking Kraft. So I'm taking Lemke there. That's all I got. Again, I'm going to try to do a better job of getting more videos out. You know, maybe not a week-to-week basis, but, you know, maybe every couple weeks. So, yeah. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you liked it. And I'll talk to you guys soon.